करते हैं, अगर कहीं से 1-2 केस आ जाएँ तो स्कूल को हफ्ते के लिए बंद कर देते हैं।
अच्छा, अच्छा।
जी। वेलकम मसरूर। हेलो।
Yes, can you say me?
Yes, Masroor Saab. Assalamu alaikum.
Good afternoon, assalamu alaikum. 12:30 in India time. So, how are you? कैसे हैं आप? ठीक हैं?
बस ठीक है मसरूर साहब, थैंक यू फॉर शेयरिंग। आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन मुझे बढ़िया लगी, आपकी बड़ी डिटेल्ड प्रेजेंटेशन थी ऑफ अर्बन सैनिटेशन।
जी जी।
मैं 5 मिनट में इंट्रोडक्शन दे दूं, ये काम क्या है?
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
सो मैंने एक नोट भी शेयर किया था कि
जी हाँ।
एवोल्यूशन ऑफ सैनिटेशन जर्नी पर एक मोनोग्राफ इज बीइंग प्रिपेयर्ड बाय ईवैग एंड सुजाना। सो ईवैग एक फ्रेंड, ये स्विस इंस्टीट्यूट है। So some people I know there, they approached me that they have prepared a monograph on how various approaches and tools have been developed for urban sanitation. So approaches are broad guiding principles like city sanitation plan, clues, sustainable sanitation, etc. And tools are things like shit flow diagram है या आपके जो mapping tools हैं, city wide inclusive sanitation जो वर्ल्ड बैंक तैयार कर रहा है। So इस monograph का aim and objective was to see how these what is actually happening on the ground. So they approached me saying that हमने tools and approaches from a Western perspective तो document कर लिए हैं. How in the last 5 days the transition has been from low-cost urban solutions to sewerage, city-wide sewerage, standardized sewerage solutions, and then अब थोड़ा trend ऐसे आ रहा है on sustainability, on inclusiveness, on recycle and reuse. So they were saying, while we have documented it internationally for approaches and tools, we wanted one chapter of, and because it's a monograph about 80 pages, so they were saying we are looking for 4-5 pages on the experience of some developing countries. So India and any other country in South Asia. And so they were asking me if I can do it. So it is not a paid consultancy. So yesterday I was talking to my friends in Nepal and I was telling them this is not a paid consultancy. Neither is it a research project, because I am not doing a big research asking 10 people and doing secondary research. All I'm trying to put in a note is actually what is happening in urban sanitation, and if there is any relationship with these larger approaches and tools, and to what extent. So what you had shared with me in your presentation was also an example of how different institutional urban sanitation frameworks have evolved in different provinces of Pakistan, from private company to state company. And in India also the experiences, and because World Bank and WSP have been operational in South Asia, so in our case also the trend has been somewhat similar, the institutional trend. We also had PhDs, then we went into unbundling, as they called it. So either big corporations, it was a municipal function, and then they took out this function and created boards, water and sewerage boards, or utilities in some cases. And they handed over these tasks in big towns, but not in the small towns. So in the small towns, either it was with the state PhD board or with a state parastatal agency. Like in Uttar Pradesh, we have this Jal Nigam. So it does all the construction work for sewerage and water. And for maintenance, there is another parastate agency called Jal Sansthan. So which is quite a bad thing actually. And then there is municipality. So there is always this conflict of interest in India, that who is actually somebody is constructing, and there are only in Uttar Pradesh it is so that there is another agency which is also interested for maintenance. Whereas all in our southern Indian states where the urbanization is strong, there mostly the municipalities are doing the functions of both implementation and maintenance. So there is no parastate agency involved there. So, sir, what you had shared about Pakistan was this trajectory of how things have evolved. So I just wanted your take on a few things in a discussion format of how has institutional structure evolved in Pakistan, and are these approaches of sustainability, inclusive sanitation, are they anyway figuring in some of the thinking right now, and to what extent?
So thank you very much for giving explanation and background. Let me start with the institution first. Means the oldest institutions we have are as India, because of colonial era, we have lots of municipal committees and municipal corporations, which goes back to the British time. And based on the area and the urban context, these were either called municipal committees, or in large cities like Lahore and Karachi, these were called metropolitan corporations or municipal corporations. But the real evolution of focusing on institutions and giving them right human resources and right financial resources started first in Karachi, which used to be the capital of Pakistan. And Karachi Water and Sewerage Board was established somewhere in 60s. And in mid 80s and 90s, this was further strengthened by the legislations at the provincial assembly level, and it was considered as the only institution or the organization within whole of Karachi for provision of municipal services, which includes water, sewerage, and drainage. Not only services, but also for asset creation as well. And then in mid 70s, Lahore and the remaining 3 or 4 large cities of Pakistan, which are Faisalabad and Multan. And when I say large cities of Pakistan, Karachi, so the population of Karachi even today is somewhere around 18 to 20 plus million. And the population of Lahore today is around 10 to 11 million. But when Lahore was around 4 million back in 1970s, so from municipal corporation to Lahore Wasa, which is Lahore Water and Sanitation Agency, that was the evolution. And it was decided that within the central pockets of Lahore, which were the former urban areas, they created an agency under an authority which is Lahore Development Authority. So act was passed again by the provincial. So these was not legislations which were done in haste, but behind most of legislation, the real framework and the real governance architect was provided by the provincial assemblies, which made these laws as a binding law, and strong human and financial sustainability was expected from the government, various provincial governments. So in 1975, Lahore City Development Act was approved by the then Provincial Assembly, under which Lahore Development Authority was established. Lahore Development Authority is responsible for the entire urban development of Lahore, which includes zoning and creation of various assets, which includes in the transport side like bridges and roads, and even the transport sector was also under Lahore Development Authority. So another institution by the name of Traffic Engineering Planning Agency, TIPA, was established. And in order to provide water and sanitation services, they established an agency within the authority that is called Lahore Water and Sanitation Agency. So, and then in 1976, under the same principle, they established Faisalabad Development Authority, and under FDA, Faisalabad Development Authority, Faisalabad Vasas were created. But most of these, or rather all 5 Vasas in 5 large cities of Punjab and Karachi Water and Sewerage Board, by and large, they have been responsible only for water and liquid waste. solid waste has never ever been their domain. And and this is the bifurcation of responsibility that Lahore Municipal Corporation is responsible, or sorry, was responsible till 2007 for solid waste, while Lahore Wasa was responsible in the same jurisdiction for water, sewerage and drainage, both asset creation as well as service delivery and maintenance. And this was going on in the remaining 4 cities as well. Karachi, same thing. The Karachi Municipal Corporation and Karachi Water and Sewerage Board has this division of labor where KWSB was into water, sewerage and drainage, and KMC, Karachi Municipal Corporation, was responsible for solid waste and provision of water and sanitation services in the area which were not then in the ambit of KWSB, and same goes for Lahore Wasa as well. So any area which is not part of Lahore Wasa, but that is part of Lahore, they were getting services from municipal corporation, and the area which was within the ambit of Karachi and Lahore Wasas, they were getting services from Karachi Water Sewerage Board and Lahore Wasa. In 2007, the then government of Punjab devised a model of corporatization, and they massively moved from parastatal organizations which were controlled by either in the form of agency authority, which was fully controlled by the bureaucrats, and they decided to have these institutions at arm's length from government clutches, but not completely privatized or independent, working under certain framework of the government, trying to imitate the principle of the private sector, but working for the government, because they were getting money from the government and assets were owned by the government. So there was no private shareholder. Nobody could invest, be a single person or maybe a company. So, but the principle was that they have to imitate the progressiveness, responsibility, service delivery model, and performance standard as per private sector. So in 2007, the Lahore Waste Lahore Waste Management Corporation was established as a first company, fully owned by City of Lahore and Government of Lahore, and then this was replicated in the remaining 4 cities where Vasas existed. So, which means that now there are 3 institutions in all these 5 cities where water, sewerage and drainage is the Vasas authority or Vasas domain and jurisdiction, where solid waste management is the responsibility of this company, which has completely different governance structure. And municipal agencies were also there, and they were providing both water, sewerage, drainage and solid waste services, but in the area which are out of the ambit of either municipal waste management companies or Vasas. And the reason was the cities were expanding very fast, and these municipal corporations were mainly responsible in the or operating in mainly in the periphery of these large cities. Whenever local government election took place, the boundaries were redrawn and the area was extended. So slowly and gradually, the area which was earlier under the municipal corporation came into the ambit of either the waste management company or Vasas. So this is the structure of Punjab. And then in 2010, the then provincial government requested World Bank for technical assistance to look at the institution and governance aspect of water and sanitation in the largest city of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, which is the capital as well, Peshawar. That's the 3rd province of Pakistan. And we studied all the models, and I was leading this TA for 4 years from WSP side and bank side. We studied all the models within Pakistan, and we found out that there are a lot of issues between these 3 agencies or institutions in Punjab and Karachi, where water, sewerage, drainage is function of one entity, and the second entity has the solid waste function, and in the periphery it's completely different organization. So after a lot of deliberation, discussion and working on various scenarios, it was agreed that we should go ahead with the model of Lahore as far as the corporatization is concerned. So let's have a corporate entity rather than agency authority, which is fully dependent on government in terms of human resource and finances and the decisions as well. But we should not limit its function only to water and sewerage, and we parked solid waste management into that as well. And the classic example which I have been giving, which we saw practically and I've been giving at various forums, that we took the delegation of the government of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa to Rawalpindi, the fourth largest city of Punjab, where we saw that water and sewerage is the responsibility of Vasas, Rawalpindi Vasa. So, and the solid waste is the responsibility of Waste Municipal Corporation. So what was happening that the sweeper of waste management company was sweeping the street, and he was putting all the solid waste into the drain. And the drain were responsibility of municipal committee. So what the municipal committee was doing, that they were through brooms or maybe through other pressure systems, they were trying to put all the solid waste from the drain into the nearest sewer, and the sewer was the responsibility of Rawalpindi Vasa. So Rawalpindi Vasa were in a way receiving much more amount of solid waste as compared to sewerage or liquid waste in it, because both the waste management company and the municipal committee staff were discharging their responsibility by putting everything into the nearest sewer. So that was creating a lot of issues. So we decided to integrate all these functions into one entity, and then the government of KP agreed to establish the first such utility with integrated function, which included both water and solid waste management. And it was replicated in the remaining 6 capitals, divisional capitals of KP as well. So this is the institutional or governance aspect, how we have urban water and sanitation institution governing under in these 3 large provinces. In the rural areas like Punjab or maybe like Bangladesh, we also have PHED, which is primarily responsible for water supply, and within water supply their focus is always very complicated and sophisticated deep bore tube wells, and their focus on sanitation or sewerage or drainage is maybe 5% or 10% or maybe even less than that. So their focus has been by and large on water supply. So PHED also operate in Pakistan in all 4 provinces. Now coming to the service delivery aspect of urban sanitation, unfortunately we start again with the Karachi. Unfortunately, Karachi and other cities, they don't have any proven scaled up model of sanitation. Means Orangi pilot project. Sorry, go ahead.
Just one clarification before we get to service issue. You mentioned Vasa was in charge of water, sewage, drainage, and municipality for solid waste. And somewhere they put companies also. So exactly. The company was doing. So this example which you gave of Islamabad, I think, which where you were saying that the sweeper was putting it in the...
So it was Rawalpindi, which is close to Islamabad, where water and sewerage is the responsibility of Vasa. Drainage is the responsibility, that's the surface drains, that is the responsibility of municipal committee. And solid waste is the responsibility of waste management company.
Okay.
Now so the waste management company sweeper, when he comes to clean the streets or the main roads, and he sees the drains which was not his property or his mandate, and that was because that was the surface drains, and that surface drains were with the municipal committees. But he was doing his job by putting everything into the surface drains, and then the surface drain guy was coming and he was putting everything into the sewer, which was the function of Rawalpindi Vasa. So this is how at the end it was ultimately Vasa which was receiving more solid waste than liquid waste.
Yes. That I understood. So now you gave this good example where this integration has happened for 6 cities
So
of KFC.
it started with Peshawar, which is the capital, and the population is almost 2.5 to 2.7 million as of today. And they decided that the existing municipal committees which existed in Peshawar should be disbanded, and we will create a city-wide utility which will be responsible for water, which will be responsible for drainage and sewerage, and which will also be responsible for solid waste management. So all the three municipal functions were parked within one institution. And there were many reasons. One is, of course, this classical example which I gave, that bring the integration. Second, probably it was possible in Peshawar because Peshawar, in terms of size, is manageable. And when we compare Peshawar with Lahore, which has 11 million population, or Peshawar with Karachi, which has 18, 20 million population, so there, putting all three functions in one institution is a very, very big challenge, because then the size of institution become too gigantic in terms of managing it or handling it or governing it and then providing services. So these were two reasons where we thought that for the time being, till we have the situation where the population become so huge that one institution find it difficult to deliver services, let's go with the integrated model. But and that happened in 2000, started in 2010, finally delivered in 2014. So you can imagine that it took 4 years to design that reform and then operationalize that reform. And in 2015-16, the government of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the KP province, decided to replicate it in the remaining 6 large cities of KP. So now we have 7 such models in 7 large cities of KP.
Okay, sir. That was very helpful. So now coming back to the service one. So for a city like Karachi, which is your biggest city, 20 million, it's like Delhi in terms of size.
Of course.
Yeah. So there, what is the situation in terms of the institutional setup?
Okay, so in Karachi, we have this institution which is called Karachi Water and Sewerage Board, and that is so the Karachi Karachi Water and Sewerage Board has a monopoly when it comes to water and sewerage. Monopoly is because the underground water in Karachi is brackish because of sea, and so it's all saltish and brackish. And people have to rely for drinking water either on Karachi Water Sewerage Board or private sector, which is Nestle and other small and large private sector which only provide potable bottled water. But for solid waste management, there is KMC, Karachi Municipal Corporation, which was responsible for solid waste management till 2014-15. And then the Sindh government made a very strange decision that they decided to establish Sindh Solid Waste Management Board. So what they did that instead of strengthening the decentralized service delivery institution, which has the responsibility of solid waste, be in a form of Karachi Municipal Corporation or municipal corporation in other large cities or small cities of Sindh, they decided to centralize it. And they said that this will be one central board, and they will have their offices in all the large and small cities of Sindh. So this probably is one of the reasons you might be hearing a lot of bad news about Karachi when it comes to solid waste management, because solid waste management means globally it's a decentralized function. Nowhere a central government or a provincial government or federal government is looking after for solid waste management. It's always a local government function or city function. But what happened in Karachi, that they centralized it or provincialized it, and they said that no city, no subdivisional district of a city will work on solid waste management, and solid waste will be responsibility of a new institution which is called Sindh Solid Waste Management Board. And that's why probably we have a lot of issues in solid waste in Sindh, and especially in Karachi, means for obvious reasons. And In terms of water and sewerage, KWSP again, and KWSP is dependent on surface water, and they are bringing surface water from Indus River at a distance of almost 150 kilometers. So it's very, very long channel which they have to maintain and provide security in that area as well, to bring that water and then treat it and then supply it to all the city. Because as I've said earlier, the groundwater is brackish and there is no other institution, public institution, which is working in water and sanitation, water and sewerage, at least in Karachi. So water is this, and just to give you figures, the KWSP is providing somewhere around 550 to 650 million gallon per day water to almost 18 to 20 million population through 1.1 million connections. And if you take the engineering principle of 80% water which goes into a house, it comes out in a form of sewerage. So KWSP is receiving almost 450 to 475 million gallon per day in form of sewerage. And unfortunately, that sewerage is not treated anywhere, and this is being discharged without any treatment into Arabian Sea or sea near Karachi, because Karachi is a port city.
There is no in Karachi.
So there's no. So there used to be in 60s and 70s. There used to be 3 wastewater treatment plants, which did not have that much capacity even at that time to treat the entire wastewater of such large city. But with the passage of time, population boom and urbanization, and because of lots of maintenance issues, and then this land grabbing and land encroachment, so slowly and gradually the waste treatment plants were functioning from 100% to 60-70%, and maybe even today either they are completely dysfunctional or maybe operating at 10 to 20%. So it's a statement which comes from Karachi Water and Sewerage Board that maybe out of 500 million gallon sewerage which we are receiving in our system, we probably are only treating 10 or 20%. Rest of the 80% or 90% is going directly into the sea. So there is no treatment of wastewater, unfortunately. But now, looking forward, there is a big investment loan which has come from, which is funded by both World Bank and partly by AIIB, that's Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. And they are investing huge in augmenting the water capacity as well as sewage treatment, and we hope that in next 5 years at least, I'm not hoping anything before 2 to 3 years, so maybe in 3 to 5 years we will have first decentralized wastewater treatment plant and centralized wastewater treatment plants in various pockets of Karachi. So if not all, maybe 40 or 50% of wastewater will be treated in Karachi. But as of now, everything or anything is going directly into the sea. And when we come from Karachi to Punjab, unfortunately, similar situation in Lahore, which is probably generating maybe, so they have about 700,000 connection in Lahore, and they are generating wastewater which is not treated again because there is no wastewater treatment plant, and all the wastewater is going either into the open drains, open channels, or maybe in Ravi River, because the flow of Ravi River is controlled by India, so mostly there's no water coming from the Indian side, and it's mostly dry. It's huge. It's a huge river in terms of length and width in Pakistan or in Lahore. So they are using this as a wastewater channel. So maybe you can say 80% of the Lahore's connections, they are directly or indirectly discharging their wastewater into Lahore. But going forward, for last 2 to 3 years, the government of Punjab and Lahore Wasa are in serious discussion and negotiation with the French Development Agency, which is called AFD, and Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. So they have proposed 3 large wastewater treatment plants in various parts of Lahore. So again, maybe the wastewater treatment plant in Lahore will come much earlier as compared to Karachi, because Karachi has lots of issues, governance issues, as compared to Lahore. So we probably see the completion of wastewater treatment plants in Lahore much earlier. And there is a wastewater treatment plant in Faisalabad, which was established again in early 80s. That's relatively small, but this is functional. So you can say it's treating maybe 30 to 40% of the wastewater which is generated in Faisalabad. But other than that, unfortunately, in many cities, even in Islamabad, which is the capital. So in capital Islamabad, we have a treatment plant which was funded by French, and that is only catering for 20 to 30% of wastewater which is generated in Islamabad, and the rest of the 70+% wastewater is going into the open nalas. And I think the real paradigm shift in thinking and taking sanitation, within sanitation, rural sanitation definitely, but maybe urban sanitation, started with the Psychosan in Pakistan, which happened in 2006. So before Psychosan in 2006, all the municipal institutions were by and large focusing more on water, and up to a certain extent solid waste, sewerage, drainage were not very high in the agenda of both the service delivery institutions as well as the provincial government. But credit goes to Psychosan, that Psychosan really gave high priority to rural sanitation definitely, and maybe Shanasir has already explained. We have various model tried and tested in various parts of the South Asia, like CLTS and its evolution from CLTS to school-led total sanitation and other models. So they started piloted in various rural areas and peri-urban areas, and this has led to drastic reduction in open defecation, which was relatively higher, not that high as compared to India, but it was relatively higher. But in last probably 10 years, the open defecation has gone down drastically. Sanitation agenda has picked up, and as I've said earlier, even in urban sanitation area, both the service provider as well as the provincial government are in serious discussion to focus on it. And this present government initiated a national program which is called Clean Green Pakistan, under which they are focusing very heavily on clean part as well. The green part is Tsunami, where they are planting trees in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, where this current national government ruled for 5 years. They introduced for the very first time, and they planted almost a billion trees, and now they are going for 10 billion in entire Pakistan, because they have majority in 3 provinces and maybe in Sindh as well. So that is the green part, but in clean part they're focusing on solid waste and on sewerage as well. So that's why maybe the federal government, provincial government is very actively interacting, discussing and negotiating with the both private sector as well as donor community to invest in sewerage, which is the wastewater treatment plant. So I'll stop here and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions.
Yeah. So, Masood Saab, thank you very much for giving this very good broad overview and in fact very detailed one on the evolution of the institutional one. There are many similarities with India. For example, I have these figures with me. In India, there are 816 sewage plants as of 2015, out of which 522 were functional, 79 were non-operational, and the rest are either under construction or proposed. So in our Central Pollution Control Board report of 2015, this is reported, only 37% of the 62,000 MLD sewage generated was actually treated. So here also, as you were saying, in Pakistan, it is about 25%. Here was about 37% in 2015. So those challenges remain. I just wanted to know from you, what is the situation on septage management? And what is the situation on any decentralized treatment systems? Is there any movement towards establishing smaller STPs or establishing these fecal sludge treatment plants, which now India and Bangladesh are also moving ahead? Is there any thinking or movement towards reaching out to these places where sewerage systems cannot work or are too costly?
So I think in this area, UNICEF Pakistan is working a lot, although the work is in initial stage. But they are the one who introduced the concept of decentralized sewage treatment pilots in Faisalabad with the Faisalabad Water and Sanitation Agency. It worked well at that time, and probably this was 2014-15. I'm not sure that what is the status of that. But the concept of septage management is probably it's not new. People know about it, the municipality know about it, but there is no focus on it. So the solution is that in peri-urban areas, mostly where the municipality or the Vasa or Karachi Water and Sewerage Board or maybe any other institution which has the responsibility to lay sewer, they haven't reached to that area, and that area is still deficient of sewer system. So what people do usually, they construct their septic tanks outside of houses within the streets with the 2 to 3 chambers, and then probably after 3 or 4 or 5 years, depending how big is the chamber and what is the population of the house, which is directly feeding it into it, both the solid and liquid, they are cleaned. And this is done by private sector. So there is no involvement of government even. Means the municipal committee or the Vasas are not giving any attention or focus on it, and they have left it to the completely households that they have to construct it themselves and they have to clean it themselves. So by and large, there is no focus. And if I recently did a survey or an assignment for UNICEF in Peshawar, where one of my focus was to look into the septage management, and this was in the area where polio, and these were called high-risk polio union councils. We have this administrative tier at the lowest end in the population. Above then mohallas and villages, it's called union administration or union council. So I did some work over there, and there I produced these what's called the flow diagram, which shows that how much water is, how much wastewater is coming out and how much is treated. So it's negligible. It's maybe 1% or even less than 1% in various pockets which is treated. So mostly it's going directly into the drain, and from drain either into the open channels or natural channels or maybe the nearby rivers. And if I think I have your email address, so I'll be happy to share this flow diagrams with you, which will give you idea. And this is only Peshawar, the urban Peshawar. I don't have any such thing for Lahore or Faisalabad, but situation is not that different in that area as well.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there was some connection problem. Okay, just one final question, sir. In terms of the national institutional system, you explained the Vasa and the state and provincial. In India, we have this Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, which has all these programs.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, can you? Can you see me? I've just uploaded. I'm sharing it the screen where you can see. Can you see the screen which has a diagram?
It's a blank screen right now. It's
Okay.
a very good screen.
So you go ahead. You continue
Yeah, I
your
get it.
question.
Yeah. The street flow diagram I can see now.
Yeah,
Yes.
this one now. So
Yeah.
here you can see that the green is blue, which is the green is safely managed sewerage, which is 0. All is 100% is poorly managed or open, and then this is second one 0, 100, and this is basically in 10 or I think 16 union council where we did pilot where we did the group discussion and produced this flow diagram where you can see that by and large maybe in one or two union council where we have good system, but other than that, say here you can see 1% is safely managed and 99% is unsafely managed. So please go ahead with your question. What were you asking?
Okay, before I pose that question, I think the major problem is operation and maintenance. So even of
Okay.
sewage systems also, like you mentioned, the case of Karachi and how these plants, which were earlier small but became dysfunctional. So I think the major problem in India also is operations and maintenance. So the risk is that you create more infrastructure, whether it is large sewage STPs or even decentralized. Maintenance will always remain a problem. So in India also we face that challenge of who will pay for this maintenance. And the ministry sometimes mostly comes up with capital expenditure based grants. But operations are supposed to be taken out through the municipal budget or through the charges. So I think the similar situation would be there in Pakistan as well. I think in your
Yes.
presentation you showed that the connections were low and the collection charges were also very low.
Yes. Again, means as per, but before I answer your this question, let me bring the legal aspects. As per Constitution, water and sanitation is a provincial subject.
Okay.
So 1973 Constitution of Pakistan says very clearly that water and sanitation is a provincial subject and the service delivery of water and sanitation is a local government subject. So they have further delegated it to the local government, which is closest to the action point where citizens are living, where water is needed and from where waste is generated. In order to deliver these services, as I've said, that these are city level institution or maybe district level institution or sub district level institution in form of WASAs and waste management companies and municipal committees. Mostly the municipal committees not only have the financial resources problem, but they also have human resource problem as well. And I can give you a few examples where some donors invested heavily in municipal committees of these two or three relatively large cities and created state-of-the-art water and sewerage facilities. But unfortunately, there was no one, even not a degree holder engineer, there was diploma holder engineers who were responsible for service delivery within that municipality. So one aspect is that most of the assets become dysfunctional is of course lack of focus and lack of finances, but lack of human resources is also a big issue. And what we have tried in last few years, or the government have tried in last few years to address at least the human resource issues, they have created these companies which are completely owned by the government, but they operate in private sector mode and they offer market-based salaries as well. So one of the objective is to attract qualified, experienced human resource, maybe somebody who has worked in wastewater treatment plant in Dubai or Abu Dhabi or maybe in Canada and Saudi Arabia, and now he want to come back to his hometown in Peshawar or maybe in Lahore or Karachi. But if he looks for a job in his area of expertise, which is municipal services, so he can only look towards the Karachi Municipal Corporation or maybe Wasa Lahore. And when you look at the incentive in terms of salaries offered by these institutions, so it's not attractive that somebody will leave his job in Dubai and will relocate to Pakistan. But these companies which have been created in KP and now the solid waste companies which have been created in Punjab, so they offer market-based salaries and they have attracted a lot of good human resources. So at least the human resource issues have been up to a certain extent addressed. But you are right that the financial crunch is always there. And whenever the municipality or Vasas or the companies are not receiving funds from the government, so what they do, they always cut down on service delivery. So if they are running tube well for 16 hours, they will run tube well for 12 hours. If they are operating, unfortunately, they're not operating any waste treatment plant, but if they are operating a waste treatment plant, so they will take only wastewater of 10% or 20%, the remaining 80% they will deliberately divert towards the natural steam. So that is a problem, and this is probably one of the reasons that why somehow the large infrastructure which has been created are not sustainable. So until and unless you address the sustainability issue through human resource and financial aspect.
Okay, sir. Thank you. One recent development I can inform you in India is that in Bangalore, in South India, where there is a big water shortage, they are channeling the treated wastewater from the sewage treatment plants. Quite substantial amount. I think nearly 400 MLD. They're transporting it through pipelines about 100 kilometers to tanks in northern part of the state which are dry. So they are taking it to 30 BOD and they are reusing that water for agriculture. So that is the new development in the last 2-3 years which has happened. In fact, this year only it started, this water, treated water being actually flowing to the tanks and to the agriculture sector.
So this reminds me that Lahore Wasa is doing quite innovative work in reuse of wastewater. So not up to the extent where they are transporting it and putting it into the household tanks, but what is happening, at least in every city or every street, at least 2 or 3 streets definitely has a mosque in large cities of Pakistan, where people go for prayers and they use water for ablution. So Lahore Wasa came up with the model that a lot of wastewater which is coming out of mosque is not that dirty, it's not that grey, it's only ablution water which is relatively clean water, which is either coming out of the ground or maybe coming out from the municipality pipe, but it's going into the drains and then finally into sewer somewhere. So what they have done, that they have constructed underground water tanks. So they collect all these ablution water into these large tanks and then they have installed pumps on top of that, and that water is used for horticulture purposes. So about 80% of horticulture water in Lahore is now coming out from mosques. Where Lahore Wasa has constructed these underground tanks, and these grand tanks are constructed usually either within the mosque's premises or maybe in the adjacent parks or gardens, whichever land is available. And then they have installed pumps on top of that, and the nearest the truck or the tanker of the horticulture authority, it comes, it connects it, pump with it. It pipes with the pump and fill the tanker and then go and sprinkle the water in the all the greenery which you see in Lahore on the medians and on the sides and even the parks as well. So this is an innovative way how to use at least partial wastewater which is coming out from the mosque. But reuse of that wastewater from seepage or maybe from drainage, that probably still a long shot. Nothing has happened, but I'll be happy to receive anything from you on the Bangalore model which you have just shared. So I'll be happy to share it with my colleagues in Vasas if they could find something to replicate it in Karachi or Lahore. That would be good.
Sure, sir. I will send you as soon as I get something in writing. So far, I'm
Sure.
hearing about it.
Okay, got it, got it. So I
Thank you.
hope the discussion was useful, and I'll be happy to, if you are okay, I'll be happy to look at your final 4 or 5 pages, and if I could give my input, maybe to from the factual point of view, at least from Pakistan, I'll be happy to do that.
Sure, sir. I will certainly share not just my part, but the entire document also. So they
Okay,
have shared with me the first draft of the document in which our section is missing. So as soon as I write it, because what I'll be writing will be more like a trend piece or an information piece. So I will include what you have said and what some others are saying, and make it into more like a essay or more like an input on the institutional and critical. So thanks a lot for
thanks a
giving this.
lot.
Thank
My
And
you.
my pleasure. And sorry for I could not connect with you. When was that? Yesterday or day before yesterday? Because I had some other engagements. But was pleasure talking to you and sharing the thoughts with you.
yes, same here. Thank you for your
Okay.
time.
Thank you, Shana sir.
Thank you. बहुत शुक्रिया.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Allah Hafiz.
Bye.
Bye bye.